Hello, everyone. We have taken a little bit of time off on our normal busy schedules for something that we wanted to do for quite so many years now, and we were completely able to do it. And our family and I thought we would just go ahead and do it. And we have secured the funds for children with cancer. We have already secured the funds of up to $30,000. And if any mother or father out there is suffering from this type of horrible situation, then we're going to try to do what we can. If we can help just one child out there, then we would be eternally happy that we could do so. Now we've secured 30,000. However, we want to actually add a little bit more onto that, and we're going to continue it as a kind of a hobby, if you will. For every subscriber that we get on this channel, we are going to add $5 to that pot. And hopefully, at the end of the day, our channel here can contribute overall, in the long term, a bundle of money. With that being said, we're going to continue on with our love of comic books. We're going to go with one of the saddest stories that we've probably ever heard in any comic book ever. We just recently finished up reading the issues of all of the Archie Comics. Now, you laugh and say Archie Comics, but Archie Comics recently, and I say recently as in October 2013, it is a post-apocalyptic version of Archie, and it's named Afterlife with Archie, and begins depicting a zombie apocalypse that actually begins in the town of Riverdale. Now, this is set in an alternative reality from the Archie that you're used to seeing, and it is written by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, and the art is done by Francisco Francavilla. Now, this comic is probably the first title from the Archie series that is not aimed for any children or even teen. The subject matter was never really explored at all in the previous Archie universe or titles. Extensive violence, realistic violence, gore, necrotic themes, disturbing violence, and moderate language in the comics in general. So we're not used to this in the Archie comics much. Now, after the comics officially dropped the Comic Code Authority, that kind of standardized this type of thing where we show the zombie-ized version of everything. Now, volume number 1 starts with the escape from Riverdale. Now, a car driven by Reggie, as everybody knows Reggie with the little hat, kills Hot Dog. Now, we've all seen Pet Sematary before or heard of it, and this is pretty much Pet Sematary in a nutshell. Hot Dog comes back as a zombie and then bites Jughead, who then becomes a zombie and spreads the contagion on to everyone else. By then, we're talking volume 2. This is called Betty R.I.P. Weeks after Archie and his friends leave Riverdale, they're also now following along the deserted highways of America, just trying to stay one step ahead of the growing zombie hordes that were once basically all of their friends and families and loved ones. Now, the main issue is the Afterlife with Archie comic, issue number 4 in all of these comics. This issue begins with a flashback to when Archie is young and his parents take him to adopt a puppy. Now, Archie's mom, Mary, is struck with sadness as she remembers having a puppy as a child. And when the dog passes away, she actually finds to the realization that death is an inevitable part of life, something her young son may learn one day while he's out adopting a puppy. Now, she confesses this to her husband because the husband doesn't really understand. She tells him that she was saddened by the puppy's loss. Now, Archie makes it home with this dog, and eventually the dog grows up a little bit. They named the dog Vegas. Before it even was adopted was Vegas because they found it on the Vegas Strip. The dog grows up and ends up fighting with an infected Hot Dog. It's sad because Hot Dog infects Vegas, but Vegas is a wonderful dog, defends his master with his life, and all it wants to do is save Archie's life. We don't read much into it after that. The dog becomes a zombie and, of course, joins the zombie hordes, but it is one of the saddest things we've probably ever seen in a comic in general. Seeing this lovable puppy dog grow up, and its end results is only trying to do its best to save its master that it loves so much. And it's really a sad thing. Everybody needs to get in there and read this comic book. All the series in general is pretty good. We just really like that part. Now, after this zombie dog attack, it gets a little bit more twisted even still. Archie then enters his house and discovers his mom is alive, but his dad is infected and has become one of the Walking Dead. Archie's mother and Archie run off, and Archie comes to her defense and has to violently kill his father. It really is twisted because he's having flashbacks of a happier time together and is forced to smash his father's skull with a baseball bat. Now, this is all very dark and disturbing sequence, but it's also very symbolic. It is almost the situation of the passing of the torch. By killing his father, he ends up being the master of the household and escapes with his mother and tries to save her life in an attempt to go to Veronica's house and rejoin all the other uninfected. We're still amazed at how this seemingly simple comic ends up being so complex and dark. Some zombie flicks and shows just don't do it. This is a wonderful one. We think everybody should take some time to read the Afterlife with Archie. The whole entire series is pretty good. We just really liked issue number 4. Anyway, folks, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, a good night, a good evening, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. Also, go down to the comment section down below, write down a comic book or a character or some kind of thing that you would like us to talk about, and we'll try to make that happen. As always, Excelsior, see ya.